Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald representing the Center for Renewing America. It's an organization founded by Russ Vought, who was the White House budget director for the Trump administration. And he is starting this organization to form a national coalition where we're going to work on border security, election integrity, and government oversight. One of the things that Russ specifically asked me to do was rip his videos and put them on our platform. So for starters, we're going to do that. My wife Donna and I will be working on the ground in Georgia with Wesley Ross. If you're from Georgia, you know who he is. So you could reach out to myself, to Wesley. We'll get you connected with the long-term plan if you want to help us. And we're going to be officially partnering with Veterans for America First to use our platform to reach more people in this effort to help save America. So please watch these videos, visit the website. I'll be on weekly calls with the team, and we'll keep you updated on how you can help.
Bankruptcy. We continue our series on Medicare, and a new report from the Inspector General expected to release any day now. The Wall Street Journal got a hold of it, and it's revealing that report found, quote, most of the $9.2 billion in questionable Medicare payments went to just 20 insurers, and that insurers gained higher payments by recording more medical conditions for patients using controversial methods, according to investigators. So what does this all mean? Specifically, the report finds that just one company received $3.7 billion while enrolling only 22% of the Medicare Advantage customers found in that report. So here is how the companies up their billing. Patients with more serious diagnoses correlates with drawing higher payments for these health plans. So here's what happens, say investigators. Insurers review patients' charts, the insurers, not the doctors, for evidence of diagnoses that the doctors may have or may not have flagged or ignored. That puts patients in a, quote, higher risk category, and then the payments go up. The problem is, the report found, that many of the patients didn't even get any care tied to these new diagnoses. So what a waste of time, right? What a waste of money. But sadly, not surprising for a government program as bloated and as ripe for potential fraud as Medicare system is. You almost expect this stuff. Well, joining me now is the former Trump Cabinet Office and Management Budget Director and President at the Center for Renewing America. Russ Vought is here. Russ, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so basically what this says is we're going to go find some problems that these patients have so we can up our rates, correct?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is, and it's not uncommon for Medicare to have these kinds of arrangements where insurers and other providers are looking for ways to bill taxpayers, and really ultimately it leads to the insolvency of the system, which we're going to see in 2026 if we continue on this road.
So, you know, people say, well, we at home, why should we care? The reason is you got to pay for all this somehow. Now, whether it's fraud or whether it's just wasteful, I don't know. But either way, it shouldn't be money spent. You got to pay for that. How do you pay for it? Taxes have got to go up or premiums have to go up, but something's got to go up, and that usually hits all of us at home.
Right, and that's the key point that I think you're making, is that these programs are already scheduled to go bankrupt. Medicare is on a glide path in that direction, and to the extent that we can't make sure that there is waste, fraud, and abuse being taken care of in these systems, and this is kind of the epitome of at least abuse, potentially fraud, that it doesn't get any easier to be able to put these programs in a position where they're going to be able to continue for the American people. And then you got the reality, which is that Democrats are trying to make the situation worse by adding Medicare benefits for dental and vision as part of their cradle-to-grave government reconciliation plan that's moving through the United States House and then the Senate. It's only going to exacerbate the deadline that we're going to be seeing in just 5 years from now.
You know, it amazes me because conservatives would typically want to get government out of the way, find private money to help handle some of this stuff. Biden's response to a system that is horribly run by the government is to get more government involvement, which, you know, that's only going to get worse. So what happens if you're 65 right now or 60 years old headed for this? Is Medicare going to be around?
You know, if Congress doesn't take action, if the political class does not take action to change these programs, no, it will not be around. And I think that's the challenge for the country right now, is that there's no seriousness with regard to how to tackle spending. And the reality is that you end up with a situation that Greece faced, where changes need to be made at the very last minute, and it just provides a great deal of pain for the people involved. And the first step to be able to reform these programs, number one, don't add benefits to it. Don't do what the House Democrats are currently considering. Number two, tackle waste and abuse in the system. You know, in the Trump administration, we had several reforms that were aimed at preventing this kind of bilking of taxpayers by having too many of the individuals that were high cost going to the plans. And then the third point is to begin to look at ways to have common sense reforms that lower prescription drug prices and do it in a way that actually leads to more prescription drugs being produced by pharmaceutical industries, and not what the Democrats are doing right now, which would cause a third of new drugs to dry up in the pipeline, which is pretty unfortunate for those who are relying on life-saving, disease-halting cures.
Well, what you just spelled out, Russ Boyd, is exactly why we need to win the midterms and win the White House back, because the Democrats are proposing the exact opposite of everything you just spelled out. But I appreciate you coming out here and talking with this very important subject with us. Thank you.